Hey there! Trying to get into PvP but don't know where to start or demoralized by fighting overgeared crab bots? I was there too when I started playing. I didn't really PvP for probably about the first 6 months I started playing BDO, and now it's one of my favorite aspects of the game. I've made a lot of these mistakes myself, and have seen plenty of other people make them too. Here's some stuff to avoid while getting into PvP. Running a semi-casual PvP guild, I hear all sorts of hesitations about getting into PvP. A lot of players say they don't want to get into it until they have a certain set of gear or reach some other goal. By not learning to fight other players early on, you'll just have more catching up to do for yourself later. So I suggest starting to PvP as soon as possible and learning to fight many different classes. And even learning their animations will put you at a huge advantage later when you're fighting. I see a lot of players avoiding joining Battle Arena or Red Battlefield because of gear differences, but Trials now have an Arsha 2 set so you can hop in and be even more evenly matched. There's quite a few benefits to hanging around BA and RBF too. In BA, you might run into a guild that's a good match for you, or even someone who can give you pointers on your class. A huge benefit to RBF is its daily quest where you can receive energy, ancient spirit dust, and an item to craft a tier. So just by participating, you'll earn a small silver reward and seals that you can craft into crystals later. Another common PvP mistake, besides just being scared to start, is not practicing consistently. Everyone wants to be good without putting in the work, but learning to PvP will take a lot of practice to be effective. Practicing consistently is essential to becoming a good PvPer. With trial characters, you can fight people who are far more geared than your main for experience, and you'll be able to unlock the entire skill tree. Trials can help you close that gap. Practicing is so important because sooner or later you're gonna have to fight over a grind spot in the open world. And sometimes you can practice a ton, but it just comes down to the class isn't right for you. Even classes that are in a bad state can kick butt if you work on it. If you love playing a class, but you maybe just don't practice and learn the kit, you're not really playing the class. But if you're consistent about practicing and not seeing any improvement over a couple months, you might just want to try a different class to see if it's better suited for you. Now with seasons, tagging system, and trial characters, it's easier than ever to pick up a new class and get it relatively geared. So if you don't like the new class you're trying, there's nothing really to lose, and you can just go back to what you were playing and enjoying before. So we all know that guy who just can't stop changing classes, and maybe you're even that guy. But by re-rolling a bunch of classes and just never taking that time to really learn and improve on one or two, you're hindering your progress. Like sure, it's fun to pick up a new class, but by constantly swapping your main over and over again, you're losing silver and maybe even IRL money on exchange coupons. Just pick a class or few to really learn and get good on, and you can play others on the side for fun. Something huge that might just be out of your control is the guild you're in. Finding the right guild is super important if you're looking for practice and specific PvP scenarios. Your guild choice can totally limit your exposure to PvP, and there's so many guilds, especially super casual or lifer guilds, that are just plain anti-PvP. If you're discouraged from flagging or can't get a deck you need to defend your rotation, you'll never get open world practice. T1 guilds are a pretty good place to start, especially for newer players, since you can learn the mechanics of node wars and large-scale PvP in an environment with controlled stats. And some guild pages look pretty enticing, but they're not always accurate about what PvP experience they have to offer. There's plenty of guilds that market themselves for GVGs or node wars, but don't see any kind of PvP action, if they're even active. Just remember to ask some questions when you're applying for a guild to make sure you'll get the PvP experience that you're looking for. And all the mistakes that I've mentioned are from personal experience trying to convert a super casual PvX guild into a semi-casual PvP T1 guild, or I've seen members making these mistakes. They're all super common, but easily avoidable. Thanks for listening to all the different PvP mistakes I myself made and other players made as beginner BDO players.